Hi, my name is Lyra. Welcome to my channel. Sorry, I have a little bit wax here. I just washed it. Today I will be reviewing a book, non-fiction book on environment, climate change, and if you consider subscribing, liking the video, I'd really appreciate. So the book called Where's the Weather? Saving the Planet Begins with Breakfast by Jonathan Francoeur. At least that's how I assume it's called. Um, why I chose to read this book? I wanted to learn about environmental climate change a little bit more deeply. I'm really into this topic. I follow YouTubers, I read articles, Instagram accounts, but it began to tell that it's like bits and pieces, and I wanted some like more deeper level. And this book I chose basically on recommendation of Lena Noor, who is a YouTube creator. She talks about books, about environment, impact, sustainability, and she was having like discussion. They read both books and was having discussion about this book. And from the way they were talking, it seems to be like what I was looking for. However, it ended up to be a bit disappointing. Um, Let me explain. So the book structured in few sections. You begin to read like the first section, first two chapters, and that's when I was already a bit confused because in the first two chapters they was like really short, like few pages, 2 pages each, but still, um, it was talking about stories from Great World War II, some like personal stories, something like that, and um, I was uh, like confused. However, then he like combined all the stories, and so basically, what his idea in one of the chapters story style is basically the main idea of this book and first section is that uh, problem like why we can't solve environmental issue. We know what the problems, we know what we need to do, so why like not everyone recycles, not everyone cares about. And basically the idea is that environmental problem is not an emotional one. We understand it in our brain, but not in our heart. And this point I actually love because I think it's really important and it's rarely talked about. So I love to read it. And then he would go again back to the stories and back to them, not giving any advice per se, mostly like talking about the same issues, stories that illustrate this issue, uh, something like that. Uh, so first section seems to be like quite a nice introduction, maybe like a little bit long, maybe not everyone likes the style, but okay. Second section was, and it's like not actually super short. So this one part is first section. Then we move to the second section, and it's a bit weirdly structured chapter of facts. It's like bullet points, 1 2 pages of bullet points about environment, about climate change, about agriculture. It's mostly facts, numbers, a little bit weird format, but okay. Like maybe we need to recall, not everyone knows these numbers. You need to have this understanding what's really going on. Some were really interesting, and so I think we learned what the issue is. We learned like numbers, recalls, like what's important. So probably now he will talk about what to do or some advice or like something like that. But now we move to third section, and it's the same style as the first one. There are stories, and this section follows the idea that there are quite a lot of people who say like we can already forget the Earth, we will move to another planet. And he talks, I guess, like his main point that even if we can move safely. It will be long time from now. Not everyone will be moved, and we still need to care about theirs. So I already was bored. I was expecting some advice, something more substantial, and like this section was so watery. Uh, like the main idea could have been told in one chapter. Like really, there was no need to go through all those stories through different angles, and he has invented like a lot of how it's called appendixes of uh, articles he read. Like so, I assume not everything he's talking is just his personal story. But there were little facts, and I'm not willing to stand because he does not mark it into text, like which are personal stories, like from his head, which are some data used. And I hope you understand, like my frustration at this point. Um, so there is like a second home. That there was like one interesting point that environmental issue is kind of like that. We take more now, so basically you have to pay later. But unlike taxes or some other, there is no option to somehow get rid of the debt. You need to pay it off. So it was like nice allegory, but I still didn't want to see whole section. But okay, like maybe he wanted to introduce second. We learned that it's problems, that it's not emotional issue. We recall some facts, and that we don't have another option. Then goes chapter the dispute with the soul, and the whole chapter is basically he talking with him himself about something like uh, I don't remember specific items, but the vibes are like, uh, why are you not doing enough? But I'm doing things like, but what you're doing, it's not enough. Or like, and it's go on and on, like no specifics talk, no conclusions drawn. He just talks this out. I understand like this internal dialogue, it can happen. Why do I need to read it? Like we're more than half of the book in, and take into account that like this everything this is like appendixes. So the almost in the end of the book, we heard basically 2 points. We heard a lot of stories, we learned and a lot of numbers. We learned some numbers, and heard what's going on inside that one person. I'm not sure. Maybe it would work better as separate some sort of short stories or short articles. But at this point, I was really angry already. Not angry, but really disappointed. Already knew that I won't give it like 5 or 4 stars. Definitely, it would be probably 3 or maybe even 2 stars. But one more chapter left, and okay, finally we'll have some advice on me. But no, we return to the style of the first chapter. About finite resources, what will be after us. So yeah, uh, my crusade to read, deepen my knowledge, uh, learn more about environment was crashed. I am disappointed. I don't know why I had to suffer for that. And can't even say like there is like that was just bad. Because the style, if it would be like just first section kind of okay, first and second kind of okay, like it's work kind of works, but not at all at once. I was like Here's the weather like a little bit confusing title, no expectation from there. Like Seven, the planet begins at breakfast. Uh, so like maybe you tell us how to save the planet. How exactly it begins at breakfast, but what like should I do at breakfast to save the planet? Um, but like the idea was just don't eat meat, and he talks it like I wrote another book about why you shouldn't eat meat, and here's some parts why it's bad. And now let's get back to the story. So that was sad. Um, I'll probably won't be keeping this book. I have uh, I there was like few points terrified. Like if you know, we have like a goal to limit. I think it's part of Parisian deal or some other that we want to limit global warming by 2050. I think to 2 degrees. So global warming would be like only 2 degrees Celsius globally. And he talks that it's already super optimistic scenario. They'll probably won't be able to achieve it. Although uh, he doesn't reference anything. He just like many scientists say like that's not a reference. And that it still like would be devastating, especially for those who live in poorer areas near seaside and so on. So I think you heard everything I have to say. You saw everything I have to show from my face. Um, Maybe I was reading it wrong. If you read the book and loved it or at least liked it, please uh, leave a comment why. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I was focusing on something else and should have pay attention more. Um, but yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this time I made you record it correctly. And see you soon. Bye.